Hi guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rifts. Today we're back with another commentary guide, and this time it's on Kai'Sa. So now, I have already released a Kai'Sa complete guide some time ago, but we have never done a commentary guide on Kai'Sa. So now this is in patch 2.2c, after the Kai'Sa nerfs on her ultimate cooldown as well as her execute damage on minions. So first thing I would like to point out is I've taken heal this match instead of barrier. So now I have actually mentioned that now it's a toss up between heal and barrier. Both are viable despite barrier's 30-second cooldown nerf. So the reason why I'm taking heal here is because if you guys look at the enemy team count, it's Darius, Graves, Soraka, Ezreal, and Amumu. They don't really have any assassin who can dive the backline. There's no Katarina, there's no Diana, there's no Rengar. There's no one who can really dive the backline. The closest being Amumu, who can dive into the enemy team just to get off his ultimate, but there isn't any like real backline damage threat on the enemy team, so I think it's safe enough to take heal. The way I go about it generally is if there are if there are two or more people who can dive backline, like assassins or basically anyone who is a threat to me, a big threat to me, I'm going to be taking barrier. If not, I'll take heal. So in this match there isn't, so I'm taking heal. Alright, so here Nami hits actually, she doesn't hit a bubble, I think. I'm not so sure. But here, nothing too special here. It's an Ezreal Soraka. So what the entire goal of the laning phase is, Ezreal just wants to be poking, and Soraka can heal any poke that we do against them. So unless we get like an all-in, it's not really too much use to do too much poking to them. So all we're doing here is honestly we're just clearing waves, trading a little bit here and there. Of course, Ezreal is just trying to get his poke off. They technically do have an advantage against us in lane if Ezreal just manages to poke, because me and Ezreal both want to scale to late game. So here Soraka actually steps up a little bit too far, so we do get off an isolated Q on her. Here Soraka does get hit by a tower shot, so I'm gonna go all in on her. I Q her and everything. I do get ignited. Here Soraka is really low. I'm flashing in, but I die. So that was really close. I think Soraka might actually have triumphed here, because the moment I killed her, she did get some health back, but she was one auto attack away from dying, so that's really unfortunate there. She did tank one tower shot, which kind of baited me to go all in on her, and I blow both my heal and my flash. So that is not the ideal situation, and Graves has killed Katarina twice now, so my team as a whole not doing too hot. We're already going 2k behind, but you know, what I will say is that the Kai'Sa nerf didn't really do too much to her. Of course, the ultimate cooldown nerf hurts more than the minion execute damage nerf, but I don't really feel that there's a really big difference. I've been playing a lot of Kai'Sa since then, and I still think Kai'Sa is just as strong, just as good. Pretty much unaffected. I can't say unaffected, but not too affected by the nerfs. Here, I get off a nice bit of auto attacks onto Soraka. Here, I actually mess up because I cast my ult to go to the backline to get the attacks on the Soraka. Here, I get the kill on Soraka. I get double buffs. Katarina comes in, and here I'm just you know, we're chasing down the Ezreal. I got the slow from the red buff. So here, Katarina picks up the kill on the Ezreal. I take the plant and I clear the minion wave. So there I actually messed up, so that's two mess ups from me already. The first one was where I went in for the Soraka. Here I'm going to try to pick up a tower plate, and the second one was I mispositioned my ultimate just by a fraction, which ended up with me ulting into the Kruk pit, which is not where I was intending to be. It actually put me out of Soraka's auto attack range. Here I'm not shopping, I'm paying attention. Soraka interrupts my back, so I'm just going to walk away, clear two more minions, and then I'm going to walk all the way to tower range to back, but I realized Soraka is going to be able to hit me from there, so I'm walking even further back, and you can see that was a good idea because Soraka has actually stepped all the way up to try to interrupt my back. Unfortunately, I'm out of range for her, so I do manage to back successfully. I get my Q evolve, which is of course Kai'Sa's first major power spike. We're of course going for the BF sword, long sword, and executioners. Executioners particularly good against this lane with Soraka's healing, so that is a major pickup from us, from our side. So yeah, so you know, it's been alright so far this game. We're 1-1-1, but I really messed up there on the Soraka. Here Nami gets off a good ultimate. Here Soraka is one hit from me proccing my passive, but I can't get into range. When I finally do, my passive expires. Nice bubble by Nami. I proc my passive and another auto attack for the kill on the Soraka. Flashing in for the kill on the Ezreal with my isolated evolved Q. No way he is surviving that. And then I heal for the movement speed to get out of tower range. Here I know Amumu is not going to be walking into that bush, so I just back in that bush because we are really behind enemy lines there. So now that gives us 3-1 and 1. So now we're starting to get a hit. Here we have 4.6k gold. And the only person who has more gold than me is the Graves, who was of course 301. Actually the Darius as well, he's also ahead of me in terms of gold. So the enemy team is doing pretty well. Overall, my team is still about 2k behind, so we're not doing too hot this game. Me and Rengar do have a couple of kills, but Katarina is essentially feeding, and her one kill was the KS on the Ezreal when she came up. So it's not too good. Nasus has 2 deaths and nothing else to his name. So we are gonna me and possibly Rengar are gonna have to be carrying this match. All right, so here of course we have the first dragon has been up for some time now, but no one has really been taking it. Here Amumu actually goes in, but he takes the isolated Q. I step out of his ult range, and here I'm just going to be running him down. Nami with an amazing ultimate again to knock up the Amumu. I ult in and finish him off with an isolated Q. So picking up my 4th kill. Rengar goes in, I get my isolated Q off, and Rengar does pick up the kill, as well as the shutdown actually on the Graves. Here I get off an isolated Q on the Darius. Rengar flashes in for the kill. So me and Rengar, we are doing pretty well. I'm 4-1 and 3. Rengar is 5-1 and 0. Nami of course with 7 assists as well. So we're all doing pretty well. Here we're gonna of course pick up the dragon. The enemy team does get a ward over the wall. So I'm gonna ward over and see what's happening. So they are all behind there. So we're gonna have to back off from the dragon. They aggressively go in. So here I'm just gonna focusing the enemies. I get the kill on the Ezreal, proc my passive on the Soraka. Nice bubble by Nami again. Isolated Q on the Soraka and auto attack for the double kill. The Fed Graves is coming in, so I'm gonna have to hightail it back to the fruit and pick up the fruit here. I'm just gonna clear some minions. Graves is sticking onto the Nami. I'm gonna try to help out. Graves flashes over the wall for the kill on the Nami. I get the isolated Q on the Graves. I proc my passive. Graves is just way too fat. Graves picks up a triple kill. Rengar, he has a bush with him, so no reason he can't kill the Graves. There we go. He gets another shutdown onto the Graves, and he himself goes on a rampage. So Rengar 6-1 and 0 right now. I'm 6-2 and 5. So me and Rengar are doing pretty well. Unfortunately, the enemy team does pick up the dragon. We do start it up, and they do come in, and we do leash them dragon. But we did trade it. I did get a kill on the enemy bot lane. Rengar gets the shutdown onto the Graves, although me and Nami do die to the Graves. So overall, the enemy team still probably wins out on that trade because of the dragon take. But we at least salvage the situation. And it's only a mountain dragon, so not the most important. I do get a snipe on the Soraka there. If you guys saw, I sniped her at max range W. She was off screen, so I did manage to get the kill with her off screen. Here they're both really low. I'm just auto-attacking, and get the kill on the Graves, which is the more important target. I'm just focusing the Graves. The Amumu is not as important. My team finishes off the Amumu, but I get the kill on the Graves, which is the important target. No more shutdown from me though, but it's always important to eliminate the fed member of the enemy team. Katarina flashes forward. No idea what she's thinking there. We get hooked by the Darius, and I do ult to get close to him so that I don't get hit by the ring of the Q, but I do die to the Darius there. The enemy team's Graves and Darius are doing really well. So basically, this is a pretty even match now. At this point in time, my team is only about half a K goal behind. So we're getting to a really even state between the two teams, and every fight, every kill, everything is really critical. Rengar picks up his Dustblade, which is going to be a huge power spike for him. I have my E-Evolve as well as my Gluttonous Grief, so I am getting to my second power spike. So I am also doing pretty well. Nami has her 2 support items already, so it's looking pretty good on that front. On the other side, Amumu has actually gone for Abyssal Mask first. Although there isn't our main magic damage is Katarina, who is not really doing too well, but we are gonna rotate up to secure the top tower. Me and Nami and Rengar, we secure the top tower, steal the enemy's fruit, of course. And however, the only saving grace is Ezreal has not yet gotten his Triforce and has not yet evolved his Mana Mune into a Mirror Mana, so Ezreal has not hit his power spike yet. Soraka has actually gone for a Lich Bane. We'll discuss that at the end of the game, of course, but really weird choice by the Soraka. Katarina dying to Graves, business as usual there. Here, Darius gets the revive. I try to actually snipe him. If I hit this, I could ult in and Q for the kill, but unfortunately I don't. Instead, I get the kill on the Amumu, and now we're on the chase for the Ezreal and more. And Soraka, I might have AFK'd there for a little bit, but she does actually hit the root on all of us to successfully disengage. I get an isolated Q off which chunks her out, but it's not going to be able to kill her. So that was honestly a really nice E by Soraka. I'm not sure if she AFK'd there or she was just really aiming her E. Here we're gonna steal the enemy red buff. Of course, Nasus, this is solo queue, and Nasus is gonna take the red buff for himself, although he is 0, 3, and 4, and I should be taking red buff. I'm 10, 3, and 6. But of course, Nasus does not give me the red buff, he takes it for himself, and no way I outdamage the Nasus Q. So here, my team is taking Dragon, and all I'm doing is trying to distract the Grave so he doesn't come over, but you know, nothing too much comes of it, and I rotate to the Dragon to secure the important dragon, which is the Infernal Dragon. Rengar didn't have Smite, but thankfully the Dragon is not contested, so no issues there. Darius is doing well on the split push, and I'm pinging the team. Someone needs to stop the Darius. I'm picking up my Infinity Edge, and I'm rotating to stop the Darius. Rengar is coming and flanking on off the side, so this is like basically a guaranteed kill on the Darius. I see Darius as hell. No way, no way he survives. So I'm just gonna clear the minions, let Rengar pick up the kill. You know, me and Rengar are fed, so I don't mind giving the kill to Rengar at all. I'm not gonna be running all the way over greeting for the kill. I'll just take the minions instead, because we do have to clear the wave. Here I'm gonna actually push out another wave before I rotate to my team. Seems like the fight is about to break off at mid at any point in time here. And actually there is kind of a skirmish happening at mid, but my team doesn't really need me, you know. Nasus, supported by Nami, is enough. So Nasus finally picks up his first 2 kills of the game. So here I'm just gonna recall. My team doesn't need me for this fight, so only reason I would rotate to the fight is for more KP, but instead I'm just gonna pick up my most major power spike, which is I have both my evolves. I have my 3 core items of Runaan's Hurricane, Infinity Edge, as well as the Blade of the Rune King. So now this is the point that, you know, Kai'Sa really gets strong. So here I'm gonna try, of course, take advantage of that. We're gonna be looking for a fight immediately. The entire team collapsing onto the Darius. Ezreal is coming in and he has a really good arcane shift to avoid the Nami bubble. If not, he dies for sure. So that was nice E by Ezreal there. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to be taking their blue buff. Katarina, at least, is going to be taking their blue buff. I'm going to be trying to go for the bot lane tier 1, which, of course, since Nasus has essentially been feeding the Darius the entire game, he has, of course, barely even dinked the tower. Rengar, unfortunately, dies to Ezreal and gives over the shutdown to the Ezreal. Not really what we want to see, but we're going to trade that for the tier 1 bot tower. Nami gets the kill credit on the tower. And here, I know I can see them rotating down. Of course, we have their enemy jungle warder, but it really doesn't matter. We are really fed, so I'm confident with Nami supporting me that we can actually get this. So Amumu with a pretty nice ult there here. Nami unfortunately dies, but I'll be able to kill the Amumu as well as the Soraka. I'm going to flash over for the passive proc and kill on the Ezreal as well. Here, Darius giving chase. Nasus manages to proc the GA. I'm going to be running away as fast as I can. I'm literally living on 1 HP. Anything will kill me. Darius flashes in, does not hook me. Fortunately, he hooks the Nasus. Here comes the Graves for me, and I'm in deep trouble. I use my E for the invisibility, get to the plant, and pick up the plant. I get off my passive onto the Graves, and Rengar picks up the kill onto the Graves. I have literally no idea how I survived that, but honestly, really well played by me. When I was one shot from dying, I hit my E, which gave me the invisibility, which prevents the Graves from auto-attacking me. So because I'm invisible, he can't auto-attack me. Allowed me to speed boost over to the plant, pop the plant, and pick up just enough fruit combined with the honey fruit rune for the Graves not to be able to kill me, buying enough time for the Rengar to come over and basically save my life. Here, I'm not going to care about the Baron. The Baron can be focused by my team. Here, I'm just going to attack Amumu so he does not smite it away. Here, Amumu does not realize how much damage I do, and with my passive proc, I easily kill Amumu. Pick up the kill on the Soraka. Nice Nami wave at the choke point, but doesn't really, nothing really comes of it. Here, the rest of the enemy team is coming in. I ult for the... Actually, I don't ult. We instead kill the Darius. I still have my ult. We do have the Baron buff, and we have a wave in mid, so we're just going to push down the mid wave, and we're going to just push to end the game here. Of course, we're all going to just focus Nexus, and that is it for the game. So as you guys can see, Kai'Sa still is a top tier ADC, even with the nerfs, which barely did anything to her. So let's now move on to of course, the end screen. Okay, so first we're going to discuss ourselves. We get an MVPS, which is great. Standard Kai'Sa build, nothing too much to discuss. Check out the Kai'Sa complete guide if you want to know how to build Kai'Sa. I'll link that up top in the cards. So standard Kai'Sa build, of course, with Zhonya's for even more safety. Honestly, we didn't really even need Zhonya's. Probably QSS might have been a better idea with Amumu and Soraka's silence. So, but I generally take Zhonya's 90% of the time. I don't like QSS too much, but that's just a personal preference thing. The ideal enchantment for me in this game is QSS. So Katarina goes for the standard build, doesn't even complete her Oblivion Orb. So Katarina didn't really do too well that game. Nami standard support build with the Locket gets an S. Rengar gets an S as well. He goes for Black Cleaver into Duskblade, into Youmuu's, into what is going to be a Moral Reminder. That's a pretty good build, although I think you can skip the Black Cleaver, although nothing wrong with building it, with building that. Rengar does have a lot of achievements, as you guys can see. Nasus technically has been feeding the whole game, but he does actually build correctly. He gets a Triforce into Thornmail. Thornmail really good against the enemy team, of course. The enemy Darius when he attacks, the Graves who has the Death's Dance, as well as Soraka's healing in general. So that's really good pickup by the Nasus. Ezreal goes for a standard build, but actually gets an early GA probably because of how much he's dying. Soraka has a questionable build. She goes for the correct build at first, which is the Ardent Sensor, and then after it proceeds to build a Lich Bane, which is sort of a more damage item. But Soraka really doesn't do any damage. Her first skill is her only damaging skill, and that's more to enhance her heal on the second skill. So Soraka is really just a healing and utility support. She doesn't really do damage, so Lich Bane is a horrible item on her. She builds a Thornmail, I guess, to sort of try to stem our healing, which is not really the best, because Soraka is so squishy anyway. If we get on her, she's gonna die anyway, but I guess it's just for the Grievous Wounds. But although I wouldn't really recommend it, I don't think that's good at all. Mumu, not the best build. Starts off with the Abyssal Mask, and can't really decide what he wants to go for next, because he has a Giant's Belt, the Blasting Wand, and then after a Chain Vest and a Ruby Crystal. So he's sort of like changing his mind between what he wants to build as his second item. So he doesn't really know what he's going for either. But first, Abyssal Mask is a great item on Amumu, no doubt. But in this case, it'll be way better to get like a Sunfire Aegis as your first item. If you want to go for more damage, which is... because his team doesn't actually have any magic damage. You can also go for the Liandry's Torment, but Abyssal Mask not the best pickup considering how our Katarina is essentially feeding. Graves, standard good Graves build, he actually also gets an A. So Darius' build is alright. He goes for the Triforce into GA as well as the Death's Dance, going defensive after his first item, which is a good Darius build. Of course, Darius has a lot of build options, and he also has the Proto Belt just to get in range for hooks, which is good, of course. So also something to note, Soraka never bought boots, so that's an interesting choice there. But we're just going to take a look at the numbers before we wrap up the video. Okay, so as mentioned, Katarina did next to nothing. We carried the team in terms of damage with the 31k, most champion damage. Pretty good teamfight participation, but of course, as I mentioned in the video, there are a lot of kills that I purposely did not go for. I instead chose to clear the wave, which is a better macro move overall, but of course not good for my KP. So Nami has the most KP. Nami does pretty well. Rengar does pretty well. He does a lot of damage. Nasus, despite essentially feeding, he does tank quite a bit of damage. So and he does actually do quite a bit of damage as well. So not too bad. On that side of the enemy team, Graves of course was carrying his team on his back. Darius doing really well as well. Both of them pretty high up on the damage and damage taken charts. But unfortunately, the rest of their team, the Soraka, Ezreal, and the Amumu, just wasn't doing too well. So with that wrapped up. Thanks for watching the video, guys, and goodbye.